Hi everyone, my name's Laura and you're watching my channel So Very Laura. Welcome if you're new here and welcome back if you're an existing subscriber. So I thought today I would just really have a little stitchy catch up with you. I've got a couple of new makes to show you and I've also made one or two purchases, not a huge amount, and very few that I paid full price for. So I thought that it would be interesting to have a look at what I've bought, some of which have been in terms of tackling the sewing procrastination that I talked about in my last vlog, which went down really well with some of you. I think a lot of you identified with the reasons that I gave for procrastinating, and some of my purchases are linked to that. So let's dive in. I'll start really quickly with what I am wearing. It is a me-made sweater. It's actually knitted. I don't know how well you can see that, but those of you who knit will probably be able to spot that actually it's knitted that way, and then you just turn it 90 degrees to sew it in. So originally I was going to crochet something with this, but the wool was just a nightmare because it's really quite thin. So I gave up and knitted something with it instead. And I'll pop the name of the pattern down below. But basically it's the same as this all the way down, and then just stocking stitch on the sleeves. So yeah, and I'm going through a kind of pink and green phase at the moment. So yeah, I quite like it. And because it's got the holes in it, traps the heat quite nicely. So I've been to work today and I went up on the train and I was toasty warm. So that's what I'm wearing. I've just got it on with a ready-to-wear black t-shirt underneath and ready-to-wear jeans. And then I think what we'll do next is we will have a look at Olivia, who you can see just trying to get in on the act as ever. And she is wearing my two new makes. So let me spin the camera around. I'll probably have to change the angle and then change it back, so that you can see what she's wearing. This is usually where the camera pings off the, oh, it hasn't, excuse the slight mess on my ironing board and table. But yes, this is what Olivia is wearing. So this is my bomber jacket of dreams. You tell I've been at work all day, can't you? So this is my bomber jacket of dreams, and it is the mica bomber jacket by Tiana's Closet, and it's a free pattern, and I first mentioned it in my So Frugal blog back in March, and decided that I really wanted to make it and cut it out, I think probably around June, and then got kind of waylaid because I started doing the Busy Bee Sewing Challenge. So it has been a work in progress for a little while, and I will be posting it as a Finish That Whip 24 project. I'll put the details of that down below, but I'll be posting that on Instagram on, I think it's Wednesday that it has to be posted, the 30th. So I'll be posting this as one of my entries. So for those of you who haven't heard me talk about this before, what I did, I can't enter it for Sew Upcycle 24 because I did use some fabric that was from my stash, but the sleeves are actually made from a skirt that I made in the fabric when I first started sewing. So the fabric is quite a heavy scuba. So actually, if I take it off, Olivia, now you've seen it, I'll just show you. It's quite a heavy scuba, and it hasn't really got any stretch in it at all. And I made a pencil skirt, which wasn't great because I just had to jump. I couldn't really walk in it. So that sat in my wardrobe and didn't really go anywhere. So I thought, though, I didn't want to waste the fabric. It's beautiful. It's got these flowers on it, and then it's got this mesh over the top. It is not cat proof, and I've got 2 cats, so I have to be careful where I wear it. But I wore it out yesterday for a walk. But actually it's quite nice and warm. It wasn't too cold yesterday. Apologies that you can't see my head at the moment. And then I've done ribbing on the cuffs and the collar and on the bottom. It does have pockets, and what I did was to do one half of them in the main fabric and then the other half are just in a cotton jersey, so they're not too heavy. And I was a bit worried that they were going to hang down, but actually they don't unless I really push my hand in. And I popped a little, I think it's a little Rosy Cheeks label, and it just says I am unique, because I suspect this is. So that's my first make. So Olivia is screaming to have it back because it's not that warm in here. So let's pop it back on Olivia, and I'll pop you back to me for a minute. So what did I think of it as a pattern? For a free pattern, you know, it was pretty good. The only bit that I would say I struggled with a bit, because I haven't put in too many external zips, was shortening the zip length at the top. I found a really good blog post by, I think it was Melly Sews, I'll link it down below, about how to remove the extra teeth from the zip and how to fold it over. And the instructions to put in the facing were a little bit sparse. And also I'm quite a visual learner, so I watched a vlog by, I want to say, Professor Pincushion, about how to put in a facing. It might not have been her, so I'll find that and I'll link that down below as well. And they really helped. And then once I'd seen those, I could visualize it, and then the instructions did make sense. But that was the bit I would say I struggled with the most. Would I make it again? Probably. It's quite big on me, but then bomber jackets are meant to be big. And also it's not bad that it's big, because it means I can get a nice thick sweater on underneath and it'll be fine. But I'm really pretty pleased with it, because I think it's a kind of go anywhere, do anything kind of jacket, because I could wear it out for an evening. I think I could get away with it for work with smart trousers. Watch this space and I'll tell you if I get told off. So yeah, so I'm pleased with it. So I managed to get that finished. And then the other piece that I'll show you, I might have shown you before, but it actually wasn't properly finished because I had plans for it, and also I kind of messed it up a bit. So I've also had a go at this over the weekend. So here's my second make on Olivia, which you can't see terribly well because the light's reflecting off it, but it is actually a Whodunit top, which is a free pattern from Itch to Stitch, which I have made before in a cotton jersey, which is pink with black cats that are in the shape of telephones on it. So I'll pop a picture up here, and you'll see that it's got this vinyl logo on it, which I used my Cricut Maker to create. So let me take it off Olivia. Okay. So there you go. You can see the logo now, which is in vinyl. So in terms of procrastinating, there are other procrastinating. There has been other procrastinating going on, and one of them has been around using my Cricut machine. So I decided that I needed to get on and do it. Now, originally, this T-shirt is one that probably shouldn't have been made, because I inadvertently cut out the back of a Whodunit when I was trying to make a T-shirt for my husband, and I picked up the wrong pattern. So I thought, right, I'll get on and make it, and I'll put a Cricut design on it. This isn't the design I wanted to put on. I wanted to put on a different one, which I am going to do, but I wasn't happy with how I'd arranged the design. But when you get a Cricut, you can subscribe to a kind of database, if you like, of projects and shapes. And this is one of the projects that has been designed and uploaded by another Cricut user called Whodunit Designs. So I'll credit them down below. And they'd created this design, and I just thought it was great, because it is exactly what I think we all feel about sewing. So for me, this is coming out the wrong way around, but hopefully you can see it. It says coffee, sew, eat, sew, wine, sew, seam rip, sleep, and then it's got the sewing machine in the middle. So what you do is you get your design the right size that you want it, and then essentially you cut it out using the Cricut, and then you have to weed out all the excess vinyl. So it is not the quickest process in the world, and the vinyl is quite expensive. So if you love personalised t-shirts and things like I do, and you want to do other things as well, it's possibly worth it. But it is a considered expense, and I would say if you just like the odd creative, interesting t-shirt, you might just want to buy them, because obviously it is time consuming. As I say, it's not that cheap, but it's fun. So I made this. Now the Uvita should have a neckband on it, but somehow in the process of putting the neckband on, I don't know quite what I did, but I managed to get a hole in the back, and I hadn't stitched it down very well. I made it using Mariflex, and I don't know whether I made the hole. I couldn't have made it with the overlocker, could I? Because I think I did it on the. I think I did it with Mariflex. I may have done that on the overlocker. Yes, I did. I did it on the overlocker, and I hadn't caught down part of it. And I don't know whether I caught it in the overlocker or whether I basically made a hole in it. So I pulled the neckband off and just finished the rest with Specky Seamstress bias binding, which is not on perfectly, but when it's on me, it really is absolutely fine. So it's quite a fun t-shirt. So I just thought I would show it to you. And again, because this wasn't finished properly, because it kind of sat there with the hole in it, and it sat there with one of the cuffs on the t-shirt I hadn't sewn properly, and I needed to do ends, and I wanted to put a logo on it. That too is going in the Finish That Whip challenge for Instagram. So that's my makes. So let me put you back to me. So having made those, finished those, I've been thinking ahead, and I've been trying to think about what I need to get on and stop procrastinating. And I told you about buying some interfacing to make my wrap skirt. So I've got that, and the interfacing's still sitting here. I haven't cut it out yet. One of the other things you might remember, I just need to move these makes out of the way, that I said I wanted to do was to get on with this pattern, which a couple of you said you liked and wanted to buy. It is definitely still available, and if you look in the link for my previous vlog, you'll find the link to it there. And I wanted to make it in this fabric, and you remember I was agonising about what to do with the top stitching, and in the end William G were having a 10% discount sale, I think the weekend before last. So I wanted to get another couple of bits and pieces. So I thought, okay, I'll do that at the same time. So I bought some Mariflex navy thread, so that then I can get on and make that. So that was the first purchase. And at the same time, I also got a flexible tape measure, which I've thought about getting one of these for a while, because I think you can use them to measure your crotch curver, because obviously they bend, and I think they're also useful because you can set it to a curve in a pattern, and then if you want to transpose that onto another pattern, it's obviously a bit more accurate. So I thought that would be useful for making sure that I'm happy fundamentally with the pattern pieces for the this is the, I don't know why I'm showing you because you can't see, but it's the Mountain View jeans itch to stitch. So I'd said in my last vlog that I know I need to make the waist higher waist, but I also wanted to check the crotch curve against my body block, and I think this will help. So I got that. And then the only other thing that I got from William G was, and I've been looking at this for a long time as well, I wanted a smaller, I was going to say seam ripper. I don't mean a seam ripper, do I? I mean a rotary cutter. So this is a 28mm rotary cutter, and I bought some spare blades because I've got a 45mm one. I'm definitely team rotary cutter on the whole. But sometimes trying to get in, you know, arm curves and things, I find it quite awkward. So I thought, well, if I get that, then, you know, it should be a bit easier. So I thought, since they were having a sale, I would do that. So I bought those. Same weekend, So Me Sunshine were having a sale. I think it was 15% off. and because they weren't going to be at the knitting and stitching show, but they ran a discount over the time that the knitting and stitching show was on in London. And so I went on, and I only got one piece. I was very restrained, and I bought this, which is, she says, moving her coffee out of the way. It's a viscose lawn dead stock. So it's really nice and lightweight and drapey, and I just love the colours. I've kept seeing pieces of fabric like this. I think So Hayley Jane had some in a box once, and I don't subscribe to So Hayley Jane, but I remember being quite envious when I saw that. So it's supposed to be, it says it's burgundy. Now to me, and I don't mind this, it's almost slightly brown. I don't know, it depends on the light, but it's, to me, it's a kind of terracotta colour background and then these big pink leaves. And I have got 1 metre 67 of this. So it was priced originally at £11.25, but because I got 15% off, I got it for less than £10. So I thought that was an absolute bargain. So yes, it's 1 metre 67 by 148 centimetres. So I need to overlock that, get it in the wash. I think it'll just be a blouse, but I just really like that. Like I said, I'm going through a pink and green phase, and I've got some green smart trousers for work, so I think that'll make a nice blouse to go with it. So that's that one. Okay, next. On the fold line, you might have seen a designer called Juliana Martinev. That's, you may not be able to see that, but Juliana Martinev, and she is actually she certainly designs her patterns in German, and she has a skirt which is called the willow skirt, which is cut on the bias. I'll put a picture in here and I'll show you the line drawings. So it's bias cut, and it so it's a kind of seam that goes right across the front, and also it's got an asymmetric hem, so the front hem I think is longer than the back hem, and I think it has all sorts of possibilities for colour blocking or for letting prints speak for themselves. And I've had my eye on it a while, and it was only something like £9 something. And then she had a sale, so I went on and got it for £6.50. So that's my A0 pattern pieces, because I got the fold line to print them, which cost me £7. Sorry, which might be more expensive than if I just ordered the PDF and sent it off somewhere else. But I do like to support the fold line when I can, because I think they do really good videos on YouTube, which I really enjoy. So I quite like to, if I do order from them, I quite like to get the pattern printed through them as well, just to give them a bit more support. So I bought that. And then the last thing I did was I started thinking in more detail about my kit for making the baguette that I showed you, and I'll put a pic in here, the Sally Tomato commuter bag. So I started thinking, have I actually got everything that I need to make it? And here's the pack of materials, and it tells you what's in it. And I discovered, yes, I'd bought some basting spray, but I didn't have basting glue / basting tape. And the other thing, which is fine, I don't expect them to provide that, but the other thing that they didn't provide, which I think is really strange, is thread. And I'm kind of thinking, if this is a kit and you know the colours of the fabric in the kit when you issue it, why don't you provide thread? Now, whether it's because there's a variety of different colours and they didn't want to provide 3 threads, I don't know. But I know I could do the grey and I know I could do the black, but I didn't have anything to go with the brown. So I thought, okay, I'll drop into, there's a local fabric shop near us, and it it's really a fabric and furnishing shop, and it does sort of quite a lot of things like curtain material. Not really all that much dressmaking fabric. They've got fleeces and things. But yeah, it's mostly furnishing. They do have some simplicity patterns. Can't speak tonight. But yeah, not a huge range. But I thought, well, that's okay because I can go in and get some thread, which I did, and the very nice lady in the shop helped me match it, so that was lovely. And it does say that that sews up quite nicely with 90 size jeans needles, but I also saw some leather needles, so I got some of those as well, just in case they're a bit better. But on my way in, I stopped and had a look at, they've got these enormous rolls that sit outside the shop in a kind of box, sitting up in, like a box, and these rolls of fabric, and they're all remnants. And when I first started sewing, this was fantastic because I could buy fabric for about £1.50 and have a go at something. And in fact, I made a skirt, so I'll pop a picture of that in here, which is made with some of that remnant. And I'll just go and get my overlocker cover because that's made in one of the remnant fabrics as well. And it's done me really good service. It was one of the early things I made. I made it just after I got my overlocker. Found a free pattern online and I made it and just put some bias binding around the edge. So I thought, great. So I thought, well, I'll just have a look and see if there's anything there. But more recently, I haven't bought anything from there. And I looked and I saw this. Oh, it's quite heavy. And this is faux leather, bright red. And it said that on the rolls was a minimum of 75 centimetres. And I kind of thought, oh, okay, well, might make the odd bag, thought I. But because the rolls are quite tall, you can't see that there's necessarily a lot on it. And then I walked round the box and lo and behold, there was another one. So I got them both because these cost me £1.99 each. And I've just measured them and they are about 150 centimetres wide, maybe a little bit more. And I've got probably about 1 metre 10 on each. So I've got a ton of it. Possibly, I suppose, if I cut it widthwise, even enough to maybe make a skirt, but certainly enough to make, enough bags to last a lifetime. And actually, I did used to have a red tote bag that I really loved, and I think the strap broke off it. Not something I made, something I bought that was quite cheap. But yeah, I just thought absolute bargain. So I got those. So in fact, out of everything I've shown you tonight, the only things that I've paid full price for are my 2 sets of needles and my 1 sewing thread, and everything else that I've shown you was reduced because they were having a sale, or or because they were remnants. So I'm actually really quite pleased with that. I think that's quite a bargain. So I am off to the Sewing for Pleasure show at the NEC on Friday. I'm meeting Sam, Sequin Girly Creates there, so that'll be fun. But I think I really need to go with a proper shopping list. I would quite like to try and get some really bright pink jersey for my mum, because I want to make her a t-shirt with a logo on it, which is based around a nickname that she has, but I'm not going to tell you what it is, and I'm not going to show it. I might show you it before I put the logo on it. But yeah, I think I need to get some bright pink jersey, and I'd quite like to get maybe some more Ponte Roma in some plain colours, but we shall see. I'll probably come back with something totally different. So yeah, that's it really for tonight. I also wanted to say before I go, I have hit 1,000 subscribers. I had a little flurry of new subscribers last week after the procrastination vlog. So thank you so much to everybody who's subscribed, whether you've been with me only recently or whether you've been with me from the start. I'm so happy that I've got to the 1,000 mark. So thank you to everybody for sticking with me on my little corner of YouTube. So next time I see you, I think I might be talking about what purchases I make, if any, at the Knitting and Sewing for Pleasure show. I'm not going to go mad because I think it's easy to get kind of, what would you call it, SHOMO, you know, fear of missing out if you don't buy stuff. I might go and look at bag kits, and I certainly want to go and look at basting tape and stuff. I might try and get some stuff like wadding and things. Now I've got all this lot. But I'm going to try not to get carried away. I also want now to try and firm up on my autumn plans because I do still want to finish the shirt I mentioned last week, but I don't think I'm going to get it done in time for Wednesday for Finish That Whip. So I want to firm up on some autumn plans, so that will be a vlog. And I also want to try out the bias binding machine because if I'm truly honest, I'm procrastinating or procrastinating or whatever you like to call it. Lovely to catch up with you. Do please hit the like button and if you've enjoyed this vlog, and leave me a comment. I do always reply to comments. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.